Hi, you guys. It's Yaz. Tonight I'm going to talk about, will they ever change? Maybe you were in a toxic relationship, or maybe you were dating somebody, or maybe you're broken up from somebody and you're saying to yourself, well, maybe that person will change. Maybe you're thinking about going back with your ex. Maybe your ex came back into your life and is looking to get back with you. And you're sitting there confused and you're trying to say to yourself, well, maybe that person will change. Now, a lot of people will tell you they're changed. A lot of people will sit there and say they will change, okay? And the thing is this, the only way you're going to ever know if somebody is going to change is if you get into that person's head, all right? Now, it's not what comes out of someone's mouth. I've said this thousands and thousands and thousands of times, okay? So many people go by what they hear. Somebody, their ex contacts them and says to them, you know what? I really miss you. I want to get back with you. I want to make it work. They could be coming back for a lot of different reasons. They're probably coming back because what they were dealing with was not working out for them, and they realize that you're worth coming back to. So now they're coming back. But are they coming back for the right reasons? Are they coming back because they really love you and care about you, and that maybe they've just woken and they have had this change and they're now a new person? See, this is the thing, you guys. You have to be able to analyze the relationship that you had with this person. How good was that relationship? How toxic was that relationship? How does that person deal with problems? Is that person a communicator? Is that somebody who's passive aggressive? Okay? You have to look at different things when you're dealing with people. We're talking about studying human beings and how they operate, okay? Everybody has their own style. People are molded. They're molded by, genetically how they're born, and their environment and their belief system and what they've been around, okay? There's some people that are brought up with a certain sense of values that say, I don't want to be like that. And there's some people that grow up and say, I do want to be like that. So you have to really know what the person you're dealing with that wants to come back, where their mind is at and where they've been, okay? Very rarely do people change who they are, okay? Because this is, how they've been molded their whole life of who they are and what they want to do. And their patterns tell you everything about, where they're going. So you have to study all these things, you guys, because a lot of times people keep bouncing back to their exes, or their exes keep bouncing into their life. And people keep taking them back and hoping, is this person gonna change? And most of the time, when you take back your ex, it's gonna be a repeat of what you've been through. It happens a lot. So, very, very rarely will that person, totally make a turnaround. You can't change a tiger and make them into a pussycat, okay? Somebody's basic character is somebody's basic character. You can't take somebody who believes that it's okay to cheat, now tell you all of a sudden, they're not going to cheat. If they feel that, there's nothing wrong with that, or that they have this attitude like, well, everybody cheats. Everybody I've seen cheated. My parents cheated. My friends cheated. It's not a bad thing. It's kind of like, this is the way it is today. Everybody cheats. If somebody has that attitude, okay, and they're just coming back to you because they want to get you back, you're going to see the same pattern again if they cheated on you. They're going to cheat again, okay? That's why they always say, once a cheater, always a cheater. Now, there are exceptions to the rule. There are times where somebody really, really makes a change. But you have to know that person and you have to look at their pattern. If it was a rare or once in a lifetime thing and they made a mistake, that's one thing. But if this person has done it numerous times, okay, the chances are you could bet that person's going to do it again. Okay? And the minute you take that person back, now there's no threat of you walking away because they feel like, what? If I mess up again, you'll take me back again. Your value goes down, you guys. All right? So that's why, you have to stand behind what you tell somebody. That's why you don't threaten people and say, well, I'm going to leave you, and then you take them back. If you keep taking them back, that you're giving them more and more power, and your power is going down. Your word means nothing. Your word means nothing, okay? And so there's a lot of people in relationships like that, very toxic relationships, where they're dealing with somebody and they keep taking their partner back. Keep taking them back because maybe they have a codependency issue and they can't be alone and they're hanging on to that person, even though that person is walking all over them. They keep taking them back and they sit there and they complain all the time and they say, if you do it again, I'm going to leave you. If you do it again, I'm going to leave you. And then they break up and maybe they're broken up a few months and then the person comes back and they take them back, because their word doesn't mean anything. So we're talking here, can somebody change? Do people change most of the time? Okay. Most of the time, no, they don't. Like I said, there are rare exceptions where people have made a turnaround, but that's because that person really has grown. And you have to be able to assess if that person has grown and is ready to move forward with you. And that's where you have to really be able to analyze the person you're with and look at what they do to see if they have grown to be in a healthy relationship with you. Okay? Now, there's instances also as well where people get involved with somebody, and we're talking also about, toxic relationships where, sometimes they're dealing with someone who has an anger issue, and that person, might have been cursing them out, may have, pushed them or something like that. We had a woman in the group who said, her boyfriend was really treating her lousy. He was screaming and yelling at her and calling her bitch and everything like that. And she was like, I don't know what to do. I'm getting tired of this. And, she didn't set up any boundaries. And of course, he's going to keep doing it. He's going to keep doing it. So, what you allow is what you're going to be left with. So you have to set up those boundaries so that person knows. That person knows that you mean business. That if you say to them, you talk to me in that manner one more time, you and I are not going to be talking. You have to mean it. And this is what a lot of people don't. A lot of people make excuses. A lot of people will say, they'll make excuses and they'll say something like, well, he doesn't realize, or, she doesn't realize, that's the way they were brought up, their background, they talk, very tough, they have a tough edge and everything like that. That is an excuse, okay? So we're supposed to say that everybody that's been brought up a certain way is allowed to act a certain way towards you? No. Okay? You cannot give somebody a pass because then you are not valuing yourself. I don't care how that person was raised. They know right from wrong. And, you can't give somebody a pass and you have to let them know that you are not going to allow somebody to talk to you in that manner. Because if you allow it, it's going to start off as them putting you down or criticizing you or calling you different names. And then when they realize that you tolerate that and you're taking that, it could progress to more things. It could progress to something physical, where the next time you get in an argument with that person may shove you, okay? And you may not think anything of it. And you might put up with that because you feel like, well, they don't know better or they're sorry. These are excuses. These are excuses. You're allowing somebody to devalue you, okay? So what you allow is what you're going to get back. And this is how people get into very toxic and abusive relationships, all right? And, that, a lot of times it ends up into domestic violence. And, there's been cases where it could end up in murder because the person allowed that person to keep going past their boundaries. They made excuses, or the person that, was breaking their boundaries kept coming back and apologizing, and they allowed that. Okay? That's why I tell you, you let the person know once when they're breaking your boundaries, and you mean it, and you tell them, you know what? If you talk to me like that again, you and I will not be talking. Now, when it comes to something physical, if somebody touches you in a physical way, it could be male or female. It goes both ways. I've seen it, you guys. That is reason to walk, okay? Anybody puts their hands on you, there is no recouping from that, all right? You need to move on because that only escalates into something worse. And that's where a lot of people end up in very, very toxic relationships. Okay? So, sometimes you could sit there and you could be a high value person and you could explain to this person, your values and, your boundaries, and this person couldn't respect a fruit fly. Okay? This person is just off the charts and does whatever they want to do. And that's why this person is always going to have a problem being in a relationship. Not everybody can be in a healthy relationship. I want to bring that up as well. Because when you're out there, a lot of people think, they take anybody. They look at how they look, or they seem normal, right? They seem normal. Oh, I saw them on a dating app, or I saw them, online and everything. They look good. They work and everything like that. Okay. That is not enough to make a basis of what that person is about. You have to really analyze and see what that person's character is. Like I said, they could have anger issues. They could be passive aggressive. They could give you the silent treatment. They could be very selfish. Okay? These are all important qualities that people never touch upon. People are always talking about in the dating world, do they have a good personality? Do they have a good personality? Okay. Jack the Ripper had a good personality too. Okay. But you wouldn't date him. So, let me just say that. So the point I'm trying to make is when we talk about will people change, it really depends on the cat you're dealing with as to whether they will change. If you're dealing with somebody that's out there hanging around, running the streets and is a big time player, most of the time that person is not going to change. Okay? They're not going to change. So, what you pick is what you're left with, and you could sit there and you could set up every single boundary in the world, but you're not dealing with the right person. And if you're not dealing with the right person, it doesn't matter what you say. They will never respect your boundaries, okay? Why is that? Because they come first. Because you're dealing with somebody who's stuck in a certain type of lifestyle, who may like their lifestyle, and they're not about to change for you. So that's why I tell you, you have to recognize who you're dealing with, okay? And I'm going to give you guys an example. Like my best friend, all right, she's a great friend and everything like that, but she is a cheater, okay? She is a cheater. Why is she a cheater? Because she's one of these women that just doesn't trust men, okay? So she will, she will go out on the sly and go out with other guys and everything like that. And she will never, ever trust men, okay? So it doesn't matter if she's got a good personality or she's attractive. If somebody gets involved with her, they have to, they have to know what she's about. And the only way they would know what she's about is to talk to her and see where her head is at, okay? So in other words, if she's sitting there and she's telling you, all men cheat and everything like that, and she's got an attitude like that, that may be somebody who can't trust anybody and is going to protect herself and figure she's always going to have a side guy. And it goes the other way, okay, for men as well. So when you're dealing with men that, have been hurt and, they feel like, these women are no good. They're all a bunch of cheaters. You can't trust any woman. Okay. That is a high risk person that you're going to get involved with that will have an attitude like it's okay to cheat because you know what? They don't want to get hurt. They don't want to get hurt because they've already been hurt. So what I'm trying to say is this, you guys, you have to look at these people and see, are they somebody that you could work with, or are they somebody that is damaged in a sense, that doesn't believe in healthy relationships? There's a lot of people that have been through so much that their attitude is like, you know what? I'm just going to do me. And if I get involved with someone, I'm going to have someone on the side just in case, because you can't trust anybody today. I'm going to have somebody on the side. There's a lot of people that think like that. Believe me when I tell you, all right? And a lot of times you get involved with people or you start dating people, and especially on the dating apps. Don't even get me started about the dating apps, okay? Because the dating apps are a joke, all right? Everybody who knows game will laugh about the dating apps. The women go on the dating apps thinking, this is how you meet somebody. And all the guys laugh that I know that are all players. They laugh about the dating apps, okay? Because dating apps are different today than they were years ago, all right? It's all game on there. So, there's a lot of women out there that don't know it. It's all game. That's why ghosting is, so big today. That's why, you always hear the same question in the dating and relationship groups. Why did they lose interest? Because you were played. That's why. Because you were played. Because whoever you were dealing with was sitting there telling you everything you wanted to hear to get some benefit off you. And when they got some benefit off you, or when they got tired of you, they moved on to the next, okay? And then they come back. But a lot of people don't know that. They don't know that unless they've lived it, okay? And when we talk about even the dating apps, and people try to argue it and they say, that's not true. A lot of people meet on the dating apps and blah. Yeah, a lot of people meet on the dating apps, okay? And maybe some people have gotten married, but when did they meet? 5-10 years ago? Dating apps were different back then. Today, it's a different ball of wax, okay? That's why, the smart people that know the game got off the dating apps, okay? Unless you're just looking for a hookup, then, go on the dating apps or do whatever you do. But if you're looking for something else, the dating apps is a shark den, okay? So I just wanted to touch upon that. Always know who you're dealing with, and you will know whether that person will change, okay? It's even like a lot of people, they'll deal with somebody who got out of a relationship with somebody, and they say, that person, they broke up with their wife and everything like that, and they said their wife cheated on them, and they're very hurt and everything like that. And, it's very difficult for him to be in a relationship. First of all, let me just say one thing also, you guys. When people tell you something, all right, don't believe everything that you hear. If they sit there and tell you, oh, they met this great guy and his wife cheated on him or his girlfriend cheated on him, how do you know they cheated on him? You don't know that. That let me just tell you, that is game a lot of times. A lot of times that's game to create pity so that you feel bad for them. So, before you go and assume something, just take it with a grain of salt till you know for sure what the true story is. And the only way you're going to know that is in time by talking to these people, okay? Because they always play the victim. When you meet a lot of these people in the dating world, they all try to play the victim, like they've been hurt and they're a good person, they're a good woman, or they're a good guy and everything like that. And, that could be part of the game. The only way you're going to know is in time. So you got to just take it slowly. Take it slowly. Never, ever move in fast with somebody when you're dating someone. Okay, that's the biggest mistake that people make in dating is they move too quickly. And then later on, they find out they're in a bad position, all right? They could be dealing with somebody, who's crazy, that moved really fast with them, or they could be dealing with somebody that moved fast with them that just used them for some benefit, and all of a sudden now the person has no interest in them. So, you gotta feel this person out and see what they're about. But as far as the issue of whether people change or not, that really depends on, their track record. That really depends on their track record. If you see a pattern of, this person, like for instance, let's say you deal with somebody that likes to freeze you out and stonewall you, okay? Even narcissistic, where they feel, I'm going to punish you. I'm going to just freeze you out and give you the no contact, okay? And let's say they've done that a lot in the past when you were in a relationship with them. And now they're coming back to you and they're telling you, I'm not going to do that anymore, okay? Chances are, guess what? They're going to do it again, okay? Because this is how they battle. So that's also another important issue, is to look at somebody, whether they're going to change or not. You want to look at how they deal with conflict. Okay? Are they able to communicate with you? Are they able to be open? Are they able to be transparent and be able to talk to you? Because you don't want to sit there with somebody that, tells you everything is all right, and underneath they're really pissed off about something and they're going to pay you back in another way. They might stonewall you. They might cheat on you to get back at you. Okay? So look at their prior track record. It's going to tell you what will probably happen in the future. Okay? So I hope that helps you. And if it did, please hit the subscribe button and share, and have a great day. Audible is offering listeners a 30-day trial. Doesn't cost you anything. It's free 30-day trial. You get to select any book that you want on there and listen to it. They have books on there about breadcrumbing, love bombing, why did they lose interest, dating, relationship, any kind of book you're interested in and want to learn about, okay? You could listen to it in your car or if you're on the bus or the train. So go to my podcast description for the link at tinyurl.com/AskYazNow and start your free trial.